Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Bass Sunday. I'm your host, Frank Malika. We begin with our pitch. If you got a show idea, we'd love to hear from you. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/BassSunday. You see it there. Comment to the page, and we will get in touch. And we kick it off with a bit of Broadway right here in San Francisco. Chicago is playing at the Orpheum Theater November the 7th through the 16th. A whodunit vaudevillian showstopper staged in a Chicago jail with the likes of Roxy Hart and Vilma Kelly. Music by Kander and Ebb, choreography by Bob Fosse. Gotta love it. And we're thrilled to have the man who plays the attorney, Billy Flynn, with us today, a Broadway star. You know him from Seinfeld as J. Peterman, game shows, dog shows, Dancing with the Stars. He does it all. Mr. Razzle Dazzle himself, John O'Hurley. How are you?
Great to be with you. How nice of you to have me today.
Awesome to have you as well. Well, Billy Flynn, this is a part that you have done off and on for a number of years now,
I've been
right?
with the show since 2005, and I've done over 1,000 performances of it, and every night I go on stage, I'm still pinching myself to say it's one of the great leading man roles ever written in the history of Broadway.
And it's so fun. Now, you, people may not know that you've got that voice that everybody can connect with. But you were a piano player, self-taught?
I'm a pianist. I do compose. I've got a couple of albums that have done pretty well out in Billboard, and then, yeah.
And not only that, classically trained vocalist as well?
I started off in opera and went from there to daytime television, and it's been a slow descending spiral ever since.
When did you, your voice, I mean, when you played J. Peterman on Seinfeld, it's just such a, it's a voice you can almost touch.
Well, you know, the funny thing was about that, I had never heard of J. Peterman before, and they handed me the catalog, and they said, we just want him to sound the way the catalog is written. And of course, the J. Peterman catalog being one of the most unusual pieces in the world. If you go to jpeterman.com, you'll see why. But it's these long adventure stories about an Oxford button-down. And so when I got it, I said, my goodness, it sounds a little bit to me like a 40s radio drama combined with a little bit of a bad Charles Kuralt. And so that really was the genesis of the character. And then he just got more and more lunatic as time went on.
And
so
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the show. In the city now, you open this weekend. How excited are you to be in San Francisco?
Great. It's one of the great theater towns in America, bar none. Yeah. There's such intelligent audiences here, and I love being here. I was here several years back with Spamalot for quite a while.
King Arthur, right?
King Arthur. So, you know, it's nice to have King Arthur and Billy Flynn as the two arrows you keep in your quiver, and you just bring them out and lay them across the bow every now and then. But I find them the same, very similar people, to be honest with you.
We got a clip, but tell our audience, Billy Flynn, you were basically the attorney for
I'm the attorney,
folks.
basically, is driving the show, yes. It's the story of a chorus girl who killed her boyfriend, and Billy Flynn gets her off because he turns her into a celebrity. Haven't we heard that story before in pop culture? So it's a little bit of kind of a black comedy in that regard. But one of the most imaginative shows ever written. Certainly the best music that Kander and Ebb ever wrote. Absolutely. And Bob Fosse, the best choreography he ever put on stage. So, right. And it's now going to be, as of next week, the second longest running musical in theater history.
Well, the revival's #1, is it not?
It is. No, it's as of next week.
As of next week, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you set that up on a tee for me. Here is John O'Hurley as Billy Flynn. Let's take a look. Chicago.
Where'd you come from? Mississippi. And your parents? Very wealthy. Where are they now? 6 feet under.
She was granted one more star.
The convent of the Sacred Heart.
When'd you get here?
1920.
How old were you?
Don't remember.
Then what happened?
A ventriloquist too, right?
You know, I think that was one. This is an example of what I believe to be some of the best music on Broadway. This is probably one of the most creatively written and staged musical numbers, I think, in the history of musical comedy. I think it is just brilliant and a tribute to really the genius of Kander and Ebb.
And you've done this off and on since, what, 2005? So you go into a new production. Does it just all come back to you? Or do you change it along the way?
More so than any other show. I could bolt upright in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and begin to do Billy Flynn. Any time of the year, anywhere I am, you put me in another role, I need 2 weeks of rehearsal. But this show stays with you. It's kind of like, because it's written in a jazz, has a jazz tempo to it, so even the dialogue still has a rhythm to it, and you never forget it.
And when it opened with Chita Rivera and Gwen Vernon, it wasn't a big hit out of the gate,
You know,
right?
it,
Back
well,
in '75.
it was a different style show back in the 70s. There were more sets. It was more of a vaudevillian kind of Punch and Judy type of show. And when they revived it in '95, they took all of that away. They did a very stark setting. The orchestra is right on stage. The women are all wearing, wait for it, lingerie, and the men, tuxedoed, and so it's a very elegant, very austere type of set, and it's all skit driven. So it's a much more successful display right now.
And a quick plug, Purina Dog Show that you do.
National Dog Show will be
I always
coming
hear
up.
your voice
Yes.
Thanksgiving morning.
The National Dog Show comes up on Thanksgiving Day. It'll be our 13th year, and we're now the #1 show that network does.
No kidding.
It's we get an audience now of 25 million. Who'd have thought that there were that many dog lovers out there?
And are you a dog lover? Do you?
I have. I've written three books on dogs, and I have 2 at home. I have and I'm on the road so much they treat me like an intruder.
Yeah. Who are you, Billy Flynn?
But I do have a little Cavalier King Charles and a little Havanese. They're great dogs. Yeah.
All right. Well, what a pleasure to meet you.
Great to see you, Frank. Thanks so much.
All the best this weekend and throughout the whole run of Chicago. And if you'd like more information about Chicago and to get tickets, log on to shnsf.com. That's shnsf.com. Billy Flynn. Well, I thought he was going to take us home. We're going to take a break, and we're talking about some books coming up next. So stick around, everybody.
Reach for the gun. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, people. Oh yes.